Welcome to this training session for the 1099-S processing through the Summit software version 3.3. If you are not currently running Summit version 3.3 with the latest patches, please contact Summit Support at summitsupport@fpsnet.com for further assistance. This training session is based off of the Summit 1099-S guidelines available from Financial Processing Systems. Please contact Ronnie Wines at RONIW@FPSnet.com for a current copy of these guidelines. A new feature in the Summit program is an option for Summit to force you to complete your 1099-S filing information before allowing you to change the status to closed. If you use this option, you will not be able to close an escrow in Summit until all of your 1099 information is complete. To set this option, double-click on the Summit Programs folder on your desktop. Then go to Office Administration, log in, go to Office Setup, and the Options 2 tab. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can make your selection by clicking or unclicking the box. After you've created your sale escrow, you'll be brought to the opening tab, and the first thing you'll want to do is enter the total consideration. And you will notice there is an Include 1099 box. This box for sale escrows will be checked by default. If none of the sellers in your escrow requires a 1099-S filing, you simply uncheck this box and you have fulfilled your filing requirements. Assuming at least one seller in your escrow requires a 1099-S filing, we'll go to the Principals tab and then to the Sellers tab. And you will enter your sellers as you normally would. And you want to make sure that you enter the Social Security number or the tax ID number for the seller. The requirement for the IRS is that the Social Security number or the tax ID number used in the filing the rule for the IRS is the Social Security number or the tax ID number used in the filing must match the name used in the filing. If the ID number used and the name do not match, then the IRS can penalize you. You want to enter the forwarding address for your seller. If the forwarding address is a foreign country address, meaning outside of the United States, you'll want to click the foreign country box. And the way we enter a foreign address is we start in the top address box, we key all the way across, we go into the address to box, key all the way across, and then use the city. Make sure you enter the province and country in the city field. You want to make sure that the state and the zip code fields are left blank. You will also want to enter your allocated proceeds per seller. This is a very important rule. When you are keying in a husband and wife that file jointly, they only require one filing. And the way that we enter those are, the husband is generally seller 1, and the allocated proceeds for him would be 100%. The wife would be keyed as seller 2, and her allocated proceeds would be 0%. That way, only 100% of the proceeds are being allocated per the seller. Next, we'll go over to the 1099 tab, and here I will show you each of the columns so you understand what each of them are and what they do. The sellers column, of course, is the seller, is each of your sellers that you have entered, seller 1 and seller 2. The seller 2 column is strictly a manual entry column. You can enter anything you want in here pertaining to the filing. Perhaps it might be in a joint filing, it might be the wife's name. It might be a title of the seller. You simply double-click into the box and make your entry. The allocated proceeds column is from your opening screen, the allocated proceeds that you entered there. It takes the allocated proceeds percentage, does the math for you, and enters the figure in this column. The prorated tax credit comes from the prorations tab. Again, does all the math for you and enters that here. The print 1099 column is if the filing is active or not. Yes, it's active, and no, it's not active. In this case, this is a joint filing. We only need one filing, and that's why you see it yes for the husband. Property and services is for when your escrow is an exchange or if you have additional property in the sale, such as an RV or a boat. A state column is for the state of the property. Change date column is for FPS. For us, when there is a change made in the filing, then you can make no entries in this column. And of course, you always want to verify the Social Security number or the tax ID number used in the filing and making sure that this ID number and the name match the records of the IRS. And please make sure that you understand the 1099 tab itself is the actual filing. Everything on this tab is what gets transferred to the IRS. So we need to make sure that everything on this tab is verified, true, and correct. When you close your escrow, a box will pop up that actually allows you to verify the 1099-S information. And you click OK, it takes you to the 1099 tab and allows you to verify it one last time. Very important that everything on this tab is correct. Any changes need to be made on the 1099 tab and make sure that they're verified. Another nice feature is you can put your cursor between the separator lines, hold down your left mouse button, and you can slide over the separator lines if you want to see more of the field. After you close the escrow, you will want to print your 1099s if that is the processing option you have with financial processing systems. And to do so, you'll simply go to Go To and your documents. And you can search your 1099. And it will be this particular document here, 1099-F, which is the first seller or husband-wife registered domestic partner. And then, of course, every subsequent 1099 for Seller 2, Seller 3, and Seller 4. Thank you for choosing Summit. Please contact Summit Support at summitsupport@fpsnet.com with any Summit software needs or questions. Please contact Ronnie Wines at RONIW@fpsnet.com for 1099-S activation, setup, and with any 1099-S processing questions.